Hello there, Coach Kalu here. Today I wanted to do a video because I think this week, or if not today, is going to be a trying and tough day for a lot of people when it comes to layoffs and being let go of a company, being fired, whatever you want to call it, exiting out of a company. Or anything like that. So I really want to identify 3 tips of if you got fired, if you got laid off, if you're exiting from a company, and here are 3 things you could actually do about it. Number 1 is you want to put things in perspective. So you gotta have to keep things in perspective. I'll talk about that in a bit. Number 2, surround yourself with support. And number 3, make an inventory of your values, your purpose, and as well as your capabilities. And so I'll talk about those in a couple minutes. Now, I made some notes, so if a couple times you see me looking down, it's because I really want to make sure I get everything in on this video to allow you to have some tools, how to kind of get through your day or week or your new normal, whatever that may look like. And so I want to make sure I'd be able to give that to you. So let's just go back to number 1 for a second. When we talk about putting things in perspective, oftentimes when a termination, a layoff, or whatever that change is that happens to us, it is personal, and it should feel personal because it is you, and no one can take you away from that. And so I think that is definitely something for you to own. Sometimes when it comes to a job and layoff and stuff like that, oftentimes it's actually not about you. It's about the organization. They had to make a tough decision that is obviously impacting your life and your way of doing things. And so it's not always about, your skill set, your experience, the things you contribute. Even if you've contributed 15 years, for some people, I've heard 26 years at a certain job, and to have that gone like that. Sometimes the decision was not about you, it was an impact to you. So I want you to keep that in perspective. Although you're feeling it, there's a few others that are feeling it as well. And again, it doesn't also have to take away from your years of contribution, of your experience, you being a great employee. So don't make that be why you got let go or why you're no longer with the company. And you also have to keep your automatic thoughts in check. The thing with automatic thoughts is that, they tend to kind of come in. The stories we often say in coaching, what I say with my clients, what is the story you're telling yourself? So keep that into perspective as well. And when you do have those automatic thoughts, I want you to ask yourself the question, is that fact or is that actually feelings? Because sometimes feelings can disguise itself as facts, and it's not, right? So keep that in check, because it will allow us to process our thoughts better, more accurately, if we recognize that they're actually feelings and they're not actually factual. And so if we want to explore those feelings, which is okay, and we could, make sure that that's why we're doing it. It's because they are feelings and they're not factual. So keeping that in mind, and yes, it's going to suck. Yes, it's not going to feel good. Yes, you're going to feel down on yourself. I'm not telling you to be positive for the sake of being positive. I'm telling you to be aware that it sucks and you feel the way you feel. However, you don't have to stay in that place. And so identify that for yourself, that it sucks and you're hurting and it doesn't feel good. However, know that you will move through it and you will be able to identify what are some of the things you need to do. And don't rush yourself. Be where you're at, right? No one can tell you, okay, it's been an hour, it's been a day, it's been 2 months, right? But you do have to get through it, and that's for sure. When you do that is really could be up to you. And again, the other couple things is when we talk about your skills and all those other things, I'm going to give you some suggestions on what the focus should be on outside of skill sets. So keep things in perspective. Number two, surround yourself with support. So family and friends, don't be afraid to reach out to them. The only caveat to family and friends I want to let you know is that they mean good. They have good intentions. They're there to try to help us. It may not always come out the right way, and you may hear stuff that you may not like, this was bound to happen. This is a blessing to the sky. There's a reason for everything. All those things, if you don't associate with those things, again, don't feel that you get stuck. They're trying to be helpful and they don't know how to help you. And so they're trying to say what they would want to maybe hear for themselves or how they may process things themselves. But know that they really have good intentions and they are trying to help you. So don't get wrapped up if you have the automatic thought of not feeling well for yourself or spiraling in your head. Know that they're coming from a good place. This is an opportunity for you to reach out to an expert who can help you through this process by asking you some questions that you need to be able to ask of yourself when you're ready. Know that they obviously have the tools and equipments to help you to be able to do that. And you do have some family friends who are very good at that as well. So I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying if you find that you're not progressing or moving, then you should probably access external support. And again, don't feel that you have to suffer in silence. It's not about you suffering in silence. And when you're surrounding yourself with, support, one of the things I want you to surround yourself with is your support. How are you taking care of yourself? I recommend to clients to journal. I recommend to clients to have conversations with people so that way they don't keep the thoughts in their head. You need to be able to process what you're feeling and you're thinking. And so journaling is probably a good way of doing that. But it's important for you to go to a place where you can also take care of yourself because you are surrounded by self. And the third thing is take inventory of your values. My business partner, Christopher, talks often about values-based decisions. When it comes from your values, these are the things that you hold dear to yourself. These are things that is who you are. When your decision is based on those things, you can't go wrong. Even if you have an experience that you may or may not like, you can't really go wrong with it. So take inventory of the things that you value. Take inventory of your core purpose. Why do you do what you do and want to do what you do, and go beyond that passion, because things that we're passionate about, we don't always stay in that place. And so when you think about your purpose, it needs somewhere to land, which is passion, right? So passion allows for those things to happen. However, the core is purpose. And again, take inventory of your capabilities and your willingness. I was trying to do two words in one. My apologies. Take inventory of your capabilities and also your willingness. Those are the things that you really want to have as your core. And then be mindful of those tasks and those things that you really enjoyed at your old job, or if you're going to go back to your job, what would you change differently? But be mindful of those things that you really enjoy, because it's those tasks and those things that fulfills us is what we want to be able to do. And don't make it about your skills. Don't make it about your training. You're going to probably have to think innovatively on how you want to go ahead and do things differently. So hopefully there's a lot to unpack there. So if you need support, please reach out to me and we could have that conversation. But the top three things, like I said again, is number one, keep things in perspective. Right? Don't lose that piece. Number two, surround yourself with support, and that could be family, friends, colleagues, professionals, whatever the case may be. And don't forget yourself in that process, because you are a support to yourself. And number three, take inventory of your values, your purpose, passion, your capabilities, willingness. Those are the things that's going to help you. And with that, the underlying tone around task or skills that you really enjoy. So hopefully this was helpful for you. I'm sorry what you're experiencing right now that is frustrating, and some of you may be angry, and rightfully so. Know that you're not alone. There's others out here to help.